So it's Friday morning. We're back in Hydro Dam. My buddy Matt is with me. Say hi, Matt. Robbie is off on a pig, I think it's a pig wrangling mission for an hour or so. So Matt's visiting, he's here for the week. He's not a stranger to this. So he's just unfortunate. And it's cold today, it snowed yesterday. So we've transitioned from 95 degrees and humid to freezing our asses off. So this is the situation. Here's the coffer dam. It's been in here for a week. And we are gonna plug up the leaks with some rags. And it's got a nice foamy consistency to it this morning. Showed up and he's got a couple of flexible tubes and he's bringing up more siphon action there to get more water from behind the coffer dam. Let's see how that works. What do you got to say about that?
Well, it's loaded up.
Gravity is always on your side?
Oh, well,
not always on your side.
There's always gravity, but other than it's on your side.
Yeah.
Gravity and air pressure.
Yeah. Alright, so what do we think about this? Aquamine.
Yeah.
Formerly Casey Jones.
Being filmed by Ken Kodak.
Yeah. James Cameron Jr. So we got the water. Robbie's siphon, this one here needs, this is the bar. We're actually emptying this down. This might be involving, because we don't want to lose the siphon. So we've got the water under control in here. And yeah. So I'm going to take a look at that draft tube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah.
That's going to be a project fit.
Yeah.
Can't take this piece out.
No.
That's cast in.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be fixed from underneath.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I said. Double wow. Not as much missing as I thought there was at the beginning, but now that I see it.
We'll have to see how this one performs as opposed to that one. If it doesn't perform, we'll have to design a piece that can somehow go up inside and then fasten it to the bottom.
Jack it up in there.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun day.
Just so you know, I'm out that day.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Looks like they go right through.
Well,
Yeah.
that'd be good news if they did.
I'm going to forget a little
Come on down easy. I'm going to hold it level-ish so that it engages the, it defines the ball. Yeah, just touch, touch. Oh, hold it. All right, go down easy. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Leave it right there. Okay. Okay, make sure you hit down and just touch it down.
You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, shaft's going down. Put her down.
There it is. You want to bring it right down?
Yeah, I'll bring it right down. All right. Houston, Eagle has
landed.
There you go. Now let's, hey, we gotta drag we gotta try and shift the wicket.
Got a what now? Oh, move the wicket.
And see what we see.
Oh, that went easy.
Careful!
I could have gotten hurt.
That almost pinched some skin.
Look how easy that goes.
Yeah. Don't break it. Yeah, don't boast about it.
Yeah, I almost broke the animal. Mine. Yeah. I was expecting
Okay,
that.
so we know the shaft turns and the wicket will open and close. So that's,
Close that valve.
that made 3 months of work worthwhile. Alright, so for our next act, we're going to levitate that shaft. There's the flange down there.
I think if I remember right, didn't we pull that up and grabbed it with another chain, then lowered it back down? And
Yeah. I think we chained it off up there
That's what I mean.
so we could get another bite.
Another bite.
So that flange right there on the bottom. Yeah, right there. It's gonna go on this. And that bearing right there bolts to there. So that's the next act. That took the rattle out of it.
That, I'm sure that's gonna wear a little, probably fairly quickly at first. 'Cause right now, you're only touching.
Tangent. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a square block against a round thing.
Wow.
It's only really. But
No rattle.
wow, it did add.
Did it when we brought it in?
But it's setting it up good enough in the plan here that
And the thing is, how do you know really that this piece is,
you don't.
you know, so.
It's all to do. I mean, the whole thing is driven by the nose pusher
Right.
that's in the concrete.
Right. That's
And
it.
then the ring is bolted. I mean, that's
That's
where the
it.
whole thing goes. Does the level this way and the level that way?
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Big step. All right, so we gotta get this thing up out of here.
yeah, we gotta pass the tools up before we send them into the river.
Yeah.
Okay, so, right here, just for the viewing public, if this is spinning freely, they didn't do that before, and that's a big deal. That makes sweating our asses off and freezing our buns
Yeah.
off
Kind of worthwhile.
kind of worthwhile.
This stuff can come out.
Look at that, look, it's a ballerina!
Really?
Okay, well, hang on a minute. Let me do a little movie magic here. Instead of fighting with the shaft, I'll move the impeller. With my superhuman strength.
You
That
ready?
bearing stuck too, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Come on down. About 6 inches. Well, you can watch the. Hold on. Whoa! Good shooting there. Good shooting there, Tex. Let me get a couple of bolts in there, Bart. Ready? Up. Up. Good. Hang on. Hang on. So we'll recap here, Robbie.
What's that?
I said we'll recap here. We're kind of picking up tools. So Robbie's Siphon work, second generation Siphon work of all. You can see down in there how much water is coming in. And so there's the 3/4 inch plywood with a 4-inch stuffer. And that's keeping that, instead of itself glued at the bottom, at the bottom of the water that's moving, it's keeping this neutral. So that's a win, so we can work it here. Well, as you saw earlier, hopefully, we got the turbine landed, shaft hooked up, had to get it up over the top, and that had a little excitement, nothing too serious. We got the bearing, the mid bearing here bolted up, got it shimmed up pretty much, I think, so that's good. Probably a little more adjusting to do on that. And then, yeah, that's it. So there's one shaft back. The other shaft is over here stowed. And then I'm going to move the step ladder over and get up out of here. But we're going to take a look at all this before we go. So we're going to put the lifting device on up there. I've got a rig that straddles the beams and picks the shaft up so we can rotate it. So we may not be doing that this afternoon, but we'll check back in here shortly. So we had our guest appearance by my buddy Matt that got kidnapped for working the hydro dam. You didn't protest, and
I did.
And you got lunch.
I love the hydro dam.
And
lunch.
You didn't get that wet. So.
No.
So
he liked lunch the most.
yeah, I think lunch was enjoyable. We had a fine lunch at Goodwin's Mills General Store. So see, the siphon is still active down there. That's just going to stay going for the duration and keep the water under control down there, hopefully. And the bottom of that's kind of put back together. We had everything out of the way and ladders, and so the bay 1 shaft, you can see it's in the corner, tied back, stowed out of the way, because if we left it over there, we wouldn't be able to get it back to here with that setup. So we got the turbine is landed, it's all bolted down, pretty much where it's going to be. We got the midship bearing in a pretty neutral spot. I mean, it seems like it's pretty happy.
Oh, yeah,
but you guys were turning it when I was messing with the nut and bolt situation down there.
Yep.
So that we never could do that before. So there's the lifting device. Robbie just deployed it. Basically, it's just a shaft collar that clamps on to the top of the shaft, and there's a disc there that I machined with a nut welded to it. And the bearing has got a detail on it, so you can tighten that threaded rod up. And you pick that whole shaft, the impeller, and everything up. Basically, I actually put an indicator on it. We just picked it up 30 thousandths because I think that's what the number was.
Yeah.
So that's next. We're gonna pick that up, and the way this is rigged up, we can move it this way and side to side, and it'll find its own happy spot. And that's what we did over here when we actually did it to both of them and spun them back when we set them up in the first place. So we're going to retrace our steps there. As you can see, there's a floor plate with threaded holes in it there and there. That's for the head plate that holds the bearings. There isn't one over there. I have one made. We're going to end up welding that down, but I have the floor plate probably half done, maybe not quite half done in the shop, so we've got to cut it to length. Once we get where we're happy with the shaft arrangement and all of that stuff, the next thing's going to be making that floor plate.
Yep. Getting
it painted, putting it in. Yep. We're going to have to do a little bit of welding to weld that down. And then, so from there, it's going to come up. The thing's going to grow up. And the gearbox is going to go on. We got to resolve whether we're flipping these. We got to do our direction
Right, direction.
figure out the directions that the turbine's gonna spin and the gearbox is gonna spin, so that we, at the end of the day, we're turning the turbines, the generators the right way, because the turbine's only gonna turn one way. So that's where we're at. But I mean, we persevered today. That water down there was no joke. I mean, that was kind of perilous there for a while when it was coming over the top of the board. What did you calculate for?
3,000 gallons of water being held back by 25,000 pounds or something like that? 50,000 pounds?
Yeah. So that was a little perilous there for a while.
8 point something per gallon.
Yeah, 8.34 pounds per gallon.
You sure about that?
Positive.
Aquaman.
2.31 feet equals 1 psi.
There you go. So we're going to call this a win for the day and catch back up next week. We got a pile of tools here. I cut some shims yesterday, and we're going to get this shaft into a relaxed state.
Too much.
Ran the siphon dry.
Yeah, I think I lost it.
We'll hurry up and do what we got to do here. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to get it so it's just level, even.
I mean, we could pull these two, and I think there's another 1 or 2 pins in there. We go with a. It just seems to me, when you let go of that, there's a lot of drag there. Like it's trying to.
Right.
So we're at the point right now where we're actually pushing it out, but when we tighten
it up,
how much is it going to come back?
Right, that's the thing. Put it in there and
I think
tighten it up.
We got put these two to it, and then
pick it up with a lifting device.
See what it does.
Let's see how neutral it spins. Here's Robbie deploying the highly talked about lifting device. The lifting device is nothing really special, but it's just that threaded rod and a bearing and a collar that I machined, and that frame. You can slide it any way you need it, but let the shaft be free. And there's a shaft collar that I welded to a piece of plate with a nut on it, and that's what does the lifting. Just tighten that nut up that he's fighting with, and that lifts the whole thing up. And the adjustment side to side is just by what Robbie's doing right now. I mean, we know we're sucking it up. I can push it in 20. And these are 20s.
Yeah.
So we might as well just stuff a 20 in it.
Yeah.
Well, one way or the other. You want to tuck it in and hold it back?
Yeah. You hold it back. Yeah. Yep.
So that's a 0. I can push it in 15.
Yeah.
One more.
How do we know we're at a point where we're not actually pushing out? No, we can push that, probably 30 or 40,000, which would be bending it.
Right.
And then put a shim in, and when we push back, we have to I would think we want to make sure that there's nothing hindering this at this point, and then you got to stay there.
The problem is we got to not really indicating from an ideal position, because the real way to do that would be to have, you know, something, because right now, you gotta take the indicator off.
Yeah, right, to put
get
the
a
shim
shim
in,
in.
right. We need a fiberglass magnet to hook it. And then this
we
isn't
can-
really,
We can put a vice grip here, and put a piece of steel down, and put the, I don't know if I got any vice grips in the scow around. Okay. Now, if the floor decking doesn't move around.
move, yeah.
Okay, that's got a good bite on that.
So right now, she's at a point where there's not,
You took all the other shims
got
out.
all the shims out. She's not
Okay, so we can push it over.
a lot.
I can influence it. So, I mean, I can push it easily 25 thousandths.
Right.
And we put in, how much shim did you take out? All of
I
that?
took all that out. So right now, she's happy. That's where she'd like to rest, be her final resting spot. Hold it. There it is. Oops, sorry, no.
Pretty close.
Yeah, right there.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. So it did return.
Within about 2.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 I just brought down.
So I want to go with 2 of them or 3?
If it goes, if it keeps going the way it seems like it's going, that should
do it.
if it repeats.
Yeah.
Plus, how does that wicket slide?
Wicket easy. Wicket good.
What do you got there, Robbie?
Little WD-40. It's not coiled, but it'll work.
Oh, we like WD-40.
Yeah?
Can 10.
We can take a case of it.
I think the performance of the hydrodam is going to increase like 24% just because of WD-40
Yeah.
today. Nice. We'll retract our full fiberglass mount vice grip indicator and go up there and set the lifting device next and give her a spinny spin and see how we go. We took a look at the gearbox and the bed plate, the bearing plates. The bearing plates are both there. The one that is not completed is, what is it? It's got to be 60%, 70% done.
70% done.
Just got to make some trinkets for it and cut it to length, but the majority of it's done. We got our coordinates now to the shaft. We got the shaft. And we know that the shaft is in the right neighborhood. I mean, it's very, very close to back to where when we took it out, so that's good. And that's a big deal right there. We think we know that the rotation of our gearbox, and we did all of this figuring, ciphering back along. Yeah, there's no shaft to look at there. There. We figured all that out before we even ordered the gearbox. Because they were still being talked about belts and all this other stuff, and I said, I was like, ah, so that gearbox is the gearbox that's used on a gravel screen, well, a screening plant, basically with a hollow shaft. And that lends itself really well to us because the hollow shaft isn't going to go directly on that, but it's going to go on another little carriage that rides up a little ways on top, and there's going to be a little drive shaft in between. That's the current plan. So the bed plate's going to sit down in between those two plates, and If you're following along, you'll see it all as it kind of gets constructed and gets assembled. That's the overarm. Oh, there's the lifting device. When that was nothing. Yeah. There's the bed plate. Bay 2. Yeah, okay. That's all the coordinates for the shaft offset to the bearing plate. More bearing plate. Wicket gate closer arm. More bearing plate. Yeah, there it is. That's kind of it right there. So that represents the shaft. That represents the gearbox as a bird's eye view. So it's gear reduction to here, and then belt drive over to. So this is the overdriven side, and then that's the generator with a smaller pulley. So what is it, 8 to 1 that we're doing? 9 to 1?
Yeah, we gotta go from 1 to almost 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the gearbox is 8 to 1.
Yeah.
And we gotta go 4.5 or 5 by belt.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a big pulley here. That's helpful. And a small pulley there. And a Gilmer belt. Yeah, there's kind of a little 3D-er that I kind of sketched in there, but yeah. Wicket gate. That's the old arm that we took off the floor.
Now, were all of these drawings professionally drawn?
Yeah, by a famous
engineering firm.
Famous artist.
Yeah.
See all the little squares in there?
Yeah.
It means I can color in the lines.
I thought it might have been CAD.
I thought it might have been Picasso. It was CAD. Cardboard aided design.